An intriguing film now on BBC World News that begins with writer Edward Fitzgerald's interest in Persian poet Omar Khayyam. Fitzgerald investigates his main achievements and hears from academics around the world about the enduring legacy of this extraordinary scholar.
'Tis all a checkerboard of nights and days, where destiny with men for pieces plays.
The words of an 11th century Persian Omar Khayyam. In the West, his poetry made him a household name.
It became the most famous book of poetry in the English language.
Americans immediately embraced the Rubaiyat.
Omar Khayyam is right to move in finger rights and having writ moves on.
Nor all your piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line.
زندگی کن. قدر این دنیا تو بدون. تو چی میدونی که بعدش چیزی هست یا نیست؟
But he was also a formidable scientist.
I think his greatest achievement in astronomy was to get an incredibly accurate measurement for the length of the tropical year.
And a calendar so accurate it's still in use today. This is the story of an intellectual giant whose legacy stretches into the 21st century. I've always been attracted to his poetry and his philosophy. Now I'm going on a journey to find out more about Omar Khayyam and his place in the world today. Abul Fath Umar ibn Ibrahim Khayyam was born in Persia in the city of Neyshapur in 1048 in the province of Khorasan. Here, east met west on the Silk Route and the gateway to the ancient civilizations of China and India. This is Neyshapur's Omar Khayyam High School, where they are starting the National Day of Celebration of Omar Khayyam's life.
امثال اینها رو داشته باشه و انشالله کثر الله امثالهم یه صلوات مجدد.
The original city was destroyed by a series of earthquakes and later by the Mongol invasion. Only the remains of medieval Neyshapur exist today. What kind of city was Neyshapur?
It's a very large city. I think no one can say quite how large, but by the standards I would have thought of any city in Europe at the period except Constantinople.
In 1040, Persia was invaded from the east by nomadic tribal Turks known as the Seljuks. They defeated the existing rulers and made Neyshapur the first capital of their new empire.
They came in substantial but not overwhelming numbers. They came already converted to Islam. They knew what cities and settled agriculture were like, and they did not come to destroy.
At the time of Omar Khayyam, the ruling king Malik Shah and his chief minister Nizam al-Mulk opened colleges across the empire. Most important were the Nizamiye, where some of the finest scholars impressed young minds. Omar Khayyam was one such student.
استادان از سراسر جهان اینجا میان برای به فیض رسوندن دانشیان از سراسر جهان اینجا میان و نام نیشابور را به عنوان افتخار به دنبال اسمشون یدک میکشن و به شهر دیار خودشون میبرن. بر تقدیر زمان خیام اوج اقتدار و عظمت فرهنگی نیشابور تلقی میشه و خیام در این زمان درخشید در مدارس نظامیه و تحت درس خوندن تحت استفاده از فیوزات امام الحرمین که یک از شخصیت‌های بلندپایه جهان اسلام بود به این درجه و مقام میرسه به گونه‌ای که بعد می‌بینیم نامشو بر یک از حفره‌های کره ماه می‌گذارن یا یک از اقمار سیارک‌های منظومه شمسی رو به نام این شخصیتی نامگذاری می‌کنن که از این شهر برخاست و نام نیشابور رو بلند آوازه کرد.
What kind of ruler was Malik Shah? Do we know much about him?
His period of rule is a kind of partnership between the great Persian bureaucrat and the Seljuk ruler. Omar Khayyam comes to court and becomes a very close intimate of Malik Shah. The word used for such courtiers is Nadim, and Omar Khayyam is clearly that. And it's not just that he's a nice person to have a drink with, but because he has skills and knowledge that are of value to the ruler.
At the remains of a palace in old Neyshapur, I come across a man whose performance of Omar Khayyam's poetry has made him something of a local celebrity.
شما خودتون از کی به خیام علاقه‌مند شدید؟
من 12-13 سال بیشتر نه. من تا 60 سالگی که نمیخوندم. میخوندم اما تو خیام بیام، تو تهران برم با 7000 سالگان سر به سری خدای من محبوب من امید من یا اینم به سلامتی
Nearly 900 years after his death, Omar Khayyam's name can be seen everywhere in the streets of modern-day Tehran. Even one of the metro stations is named after him. I'm going to see a man who knows a lot about Omar Khayyam. He has written a book about Khayyam known as May and Mina, which means wine and the wine glass. He also edits a very famous literary magazine known as Bukhara. His name is Ali Dehbashi. He's very respected in Iran's literary community. سلام علیکم. به 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 آقای دهباشی. حال شما چطوره؟ خوب هستی؟
ایده ما روشن.
قربون شما خوب هستین؟ خیلی ممنون. شما چطور شد که این کتاب قطور می و مینا رو سراغش رفتید و در مورد خیاط چاپ کردید؟
اصلا من هم در پاسخ در واقع به کنجکاوی‌های خودم اول که چرا اینقدر همه خیام میخونم، مهمترین مقالات در چند زمینه از زندگی خیام، یکی اندیشه ها، شعرش، مسائل ریاضی و آنچه که غربی ها دربارش گفتن. سعی کردم با توی حجم اینجوری 700 صفحه‌ای یه تصوری از آنچه که خیام میتونسته باشه به دست بدم. توانسته به اعماق روح انسانی دست پیدا کنه و روی نکاتی دست بذاره که این مربوط به دردها و آمال انسانی در طول هزاران سال باشه و این دردها تغییری نکرده از یک جهت.
His universal sentiments made Khayyam popular in the West. In the summer of 2009, academics and scholars from across the world gathered at the University of Cambridge to celebrate Omar Khayyam. At the post-conference garden party, I meet Sir Nicholas Barrington, a trustee of the Ancient India and Iran Trust.
شما از خیام چیزی شعر بلد هستین؟
Well, why not? Why not? Yes.
چی بلدین از خیام شما؟
What is it? یاران چو به اتفاق دیدار کنید باید ز دوست یاد بسیار کنید. چون باده گوشگوار نوشید به هم نوبت که به ما رسد نگونسار کنید.
The man who made Omar Khayyam's poetry famous in the West was a reclusive man of letters, Edward Fitzgerald, whose circle of friends included literary giants Alfred Lord Tennyson and William Makepeace Thackeray.
Fitzgerald came from a very wealthy Anglo-Irish family, and it's said that his parents were some of the richest people in England. And he had a privileged and, so to speak, rather idle life. He went to Cambridge and he never had a job, never had a profession. He was what the Victorians would have recognized as a bachelor. The main emotional center of his life was friendship, almost always with men. And he became friends with a young, self-taught linguist called Edward Cowell. And he knew Cowell when he was in his late 30s, and Cowell was 18 or 19.